Hey everybody, welcome to video number 4 out of 10. These are things that help me inside the gym when I am outside of the gym. So this one in particular is going to be very similar to the last one I did, but it is different, and it's different for quite a few reasons, for many reasons. The last one I did was, about studying fight film and watching fights and actually trying to learn instead of just watching it as a fan and kind of just forgetting about everything. So analyzing fights. So this one is going to be watching videos / tutorials on techniques, and I'm talking very basic, absolute beginner stuff to all the way to intermediate. And this started for me probably in the summer of 2020, so we're talking pandemic here, and it's just what's going on. There's not a lot of stuff to do. I'm not hanging around with people during this time. I'm just trying to get my life back together. And I had been a while into my journey into recovery and sobriety. And I've been through stints like that in the past, a little bit of time here and there, but this was the beginning of something special, something very different, and a much more realistic approach to long-term recovery. Not just abstinence, but recovery, changing your behaviors and attitudes, and changing your lifestyle and everything. It's a whole lot, but I just did one piece at a time. If you try to do it all, you might just crumble like I did before, so a lot of it was trial and error with me. Anyways, so picture this, summer 2020, I just started, I already knew about the UFC in the past and fighting and everything like that, but boxing was a lot more prevalent to me, and I knew about that longer, but I do remember when I was a kid, seeing it on Spike TV and watching things like that. I'm talking Forrest Griffin days, you know what I mean, Tough Season 1, so online, I happened to come across something like that, and I watched season 1 of The Ultimate Fighter, and I watched a bunch more seasons. I went like 1 through 8 or 1 through 13, even like all summer into the fall. I was just like absolutely cracking out on those episodes. I found them very enjoyable, and you could really get to know fighters and not just what they do in there, but what they're fighting for. And they're spending time away from their friends and family, and they're really trying to chase this goal. And I can get stir crazy in that house. And it was just very interesting to me. Then I started watching, obviously, the parts later in each episode when they fight each other. I started really trying to look into those techniques and stuff. I said, oh man, I wonder how they learned how to do that. They must have started with some basics and advanced, and it started to actually genuinely intrigue me. So that's when I started realizing we live in this excellent day and age where technology is at our fingertips, literally, not like computers going on a keyboard and our fingertips. I mean literally on our fingertips. Like, we have touchscreen phones. We can, anything you could think of. You don't have to go rent a book at a library and scan through the table of contents or whatever, the index, and be like, oh, hopefully I can find what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? It's right there. There's a Google search engine that's been around for quite some time. You know what I mean? And not only that, I didn't even use that. I just went straight to YouTube, and YouTube's become so big now that you could type almost anything in, how to blank, how to insert here, and it's going to come up, so long as it's in decent context. So, I think I started very basic, started just typing in how to blank or boxing for beginners, striking for beginners, intro to kickboxing, things like that. And I began watching and trying to program it into my head, hey, okay, this is how you go about it and everything like that. So I started watching countless tutorials on all these things, like I said, boxing, kickboxing, even some karate things, and that's one reason why I've incorporated a little bit of a side stance a lot when I spar. I don't just, I'm not a normal Muay Thai guy. I don't have my shoulders squared towards the opponent. I don't have my legs tight and close together. I'm, instead of this, and then boxing's like that. But sometimes I'm almost like this, almost completely sideways, perpendicular to them. And that's so that I can do those jump in side kicks where you replace your, front leg, your lead leg, with the back leg, and as you're doing that, you bring your lead leg up and out, and you just kick from your hips, and you rotate to get that power of the, almost like a push kick but to the side. So it's a side kick, man. And you'll see Wonder Boy do it a lot. And so, but that's from my other video, my last video, where I started to implement things from fights that I've watched. But this is just very basic techniques that I was learning, 1-2s, 1-2-3, 1-2-3 low kick, getting off combinations and stuff like that, understanding head movement, and then eventually it got to the point where I was able to learn, hey, this is how you have to read somebody in the beginning. You have to give them different looks. You want to be able to set them up for certain things, as they call it, set traps. But anyway, so after beginning to understand the techniques, it was time for me to begin, practice implementing them. But the thing is, we were in the pandemic, and you know who I was around at that time? Me, my mother, and my father. My father's older. I'm not about to start learning and practicing on him, you know what I mean? So I was just kind of doing it against the oxygen, me versus air. Yeah, hooray, And as silly as it seems, when you're doing that, think, even professional fighters, they shadow box all the time. You can picture an opponent in your head, which way they're coming, what angle, dipping your head off to the side as you throw the overhand left, things like that. By the way, I'm a southpaw, so if you heard overhand left and thought, what the hell is this kid talking about? That's why, obviously. Anyways, moving on. So over time, I began to develop correct form on many of these techniques. Other than certain things, you're going to be able to get so much from learning online. But I'm telling you, the practicality of going to a gym and learning from others, but especially learning from a coach or your coaches, is going to be so vital to you actually being able to advance. Because no matter how many techniques I had in my head, I wasn't that great when I started at the gym. And I got to see myself grow a little bit, then more, then I got to see me be able to stay very loose in sparring, and that makes all the difference in the world. You can enter a flow state. You're not really too robotronic, you're not like a robot. Everything's loose, fake the one to the body, hit them upstairs, fake the one upstairs, go to the body, and now they're pissed at you. Now they're like, oh, you got me twice with this trickery, and now you can start opening up more stuff. But anyway, so like, for example, one thing that I thought I had down, but I definitely didn't when I first went there, was there's these simple things that are going to go unnoticed throughout all the videos. All the videos I watched, countless hours and studying it and trying to get it in my mind and trying to develop muscle memory prior to going into a gym, and they did not even teach me to turn my foot out when I throw a kick. So when I got to the gym, they're like, yeah, you do this. And I'm like, you do what? And I'm trying it and I'm practicing it. And the muscle memory wasn't there, so it felt weird. So what did I do for the past 6 to 8 months? I've been turning kicks over and practicing them on heavy bags. And now I'm trying to implement it more in sparring. You know what I mean? So I'd say the one downfall about learning stuff online is that exactly. That's exactly what the downfall of it is you may happen to build bad habits. And it's much easier to have no habit and then be taught the right way and then start to build on that than it is to have built a bad habit on your own because you're watching people online from the opposite side of the dang world, you know what I mean? And you're not having, as you're practicing it, nobody's seeing you and going, oh, okay, I like that, but turn this over and do it this way. You don't have any of that when it comes to it. So a gym is essential, Luckily, there weren't too many of those bad habits for me. Like, I've seen some people in videos where they're like, their elbows are like out like this even when they're throwing punches, like and I'm like, oh my god, dude, like these dudes, they really don't know how to like throw a straight punch down the middle real quick. And that's a horrible habit to have to unlearn. So thank god I didn't have anything like that. Your elbows flared out and stuff. Come on now. But let's see what else I got here. But that's exactly where the coaches in real life will come into play, It is good, though. It's a great idea to maybe before you get started, start to build your knowledge because, I probably would have felt like horrible about myself if I walked in there. I've seen people walked in, some dude started the same day as I did, and I didn't see him 2 to 3 weeks later, So martial arts is definitely not for everybody, and even if you have the physical body, you might not have the mindset, or if you have the mindset, you might not have the physical body, and that might crush you. Or you might be somebody who walks in with not, oh my god, I felt like Paulo Costa. He has what you say, not good mindset. He has bad mindset. But so anyways, dude, I totally forget what I was trying to get into there. I'm cracking myself up. But so yeah, I would suggest to pay close attention to details while watching the videos in order to minimize future errors, things like that. Very basic, you know. But it's just good for me to be able to share this information. A lot of these things are ideas and thoughts that I wish I had known about before, you know. As much as I was watching the techniques, I wasn't watching somebody actually verbally explain it with correct details. So basically, all 10 of these videos that I'm going to be doing, I'm on number 4 out of 10. All of these 10 things that I do, they come from living clean, eating clean, treating your body well, having an impenetrable mindset, the deep hunger for knowledge, consistency, focus, and absolute commitment. You know what I mean? And it may seem like a lot of things, but those things overlap. And once you start doing 2 or 3 of them, the other things come naturally. So have that outlook, you know. The way I saw it was, if I was going to begin to learn all of these brand new techniques at the ripe old age of 30, you know what I mean? I'm 30 years old. Where we live in a day and age now where mixed martial arts is very advanced. You got kids coming out the womb in freaking gis, dude. You know what I mean? Doing all that crazy stuff. And they're nasty. By the time they're 9 years old, they're like wicked good at what they do. So that's crazy. You know, that wasn't like that back in 1993, 1994. You know, you had people like me at the age of 30, many people like that starting to learn, or mid-20s. But now it's become so different, you know. So that messed up my mentality, made me think like, man, I stand no chance. No matter how hard I try, I stand no chance. Maybe I should just stay in my own lane and not get into MMA and not think that I can make something of it one day. And then I said, you know what? Forget all that, dude. Just have faith in yourself, because look at Randy the Natural Couture. You know, he didn't even start messing around until he was in his 30s, right? And there's other people that did it too. I think Francis Ngannou was training for 2 to 3 years before he broke into the top 10 in the heavyweight division. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you're gonna let those negative things bring you down, look for the positive examples as well to bring you right back up, or at least to balance you out, because we don't deserve to be down here as humans. It happens one more time with my videos, I'm gonna lose it, okay? The only reason you see Power Director in the bottom right of a lot of my videos, I don't do editing, dude. It's because it cuts me off halfway through my video because I run out of the size limit reached, and then I have to delete more stuff on my phone, then I have to restart this every time. And just to splice those 2 videos together, just to put them together, I have to show the water logo because I don't have something that I own. Anyways, back into this. Like I said, the way I started, if I was going to begin to learn all these brand new disciplines and have the ability to put them all together at the age of 30 and actually be able to make something big out of it and big out of myself and get there, you know, I knew that I needed as many available outlets as possible. You know, I needed as many things in order to greatly increase the rate and the speed in which I would be able to grow and learn. Just to even be able to hold a candle to these other guys, like I said, who have been fighting since they came out the womb. Like, hey, you know, crazy, ridiculous, dude. So that's why I have all these things, not just, oh, I go in there and then I train hard and then when I leave, that's it. Now I'm back to my normal whatever, you know, my normal life. No, it's not a normal life. Everything I'm doing is to help me in this goal, you know what I mean? That's the only way I'm going to be able to play catch up with people at this age. And, you know, people who have been striking much longer than you are, you know, they're going to teach you a lot. And sometimes when you start to reach that next level and reach that next plateau in striking, there's going to be people out there who maybe have trained 2 or 3 times longer than you in striking, and, you know, if they start to notice that you're getting the best of them and you're not punching hard or anything, you're just dodging, slipping, catching them at will and dodging at will, you know, some of them are going to be happy for you and, you know, they're going to be uplifting, but a good amount of them, or at least a couple of them, they're going to eventually get a little salty about that, you know, they're not going to like it very much, but that was never any of our goals to bring people down or anything like that. So just remember to be a good person at the end of the day. You know, like Rose Namajunas said, you know, the belt and everything she has and all the fame and whatever, the money, that's all extra. She said, just be a nice person. You know what I mean? That message got across to a lot of people. It definitely got across to me. because people can get caught up in all that bourgeois. And so, like I said, they can get real salty when you start to best them in sparring, but just stay humble, focused, and try to give them a compliment, to be real. Just give them a compliment, things that they did good, are they quick? Is their in and out movement impressive? Are they good at checking kicks? Did they catch you on the chin once during a 3 to 5 minute session? We just do 3 minutes because a lot of us who are practicing, we'll be getting ready for like amateur bouts where it's like 3 minutes. MMA, I think, is 3 minutes. I believe normal kickboxing rounds are 3 minutes. So amateur Muay Thai bouts, I think I just found out today, are like 2 minutes. So you just got to get active when you get in there. 2 minutes. So you're just always going at all 3 rounds. But yeah, just be nice like that, and keep that morale high with that. That's what I would want somebody to do. Like when I get choked out all the time in BJJ from people who are 2/3 of my size, luckily I'm at a spot where I can keep my own morale high, and I can understand in my mind, like, these people have been doing it so much longer than I have. I don't even know how to finish it when I'm rolling with people. I don't even go for a finish because I don't know how, really, I'm just surviving, and I'm increasing my survivability, shout out to Dust, Detroit Herbal survival, whatever, training bullshit. Alright, anyways, I've had enough laughs in this video, but that's about it, I could keep going on a bunch of other stuff, but I'm going to call it a day on this video, and I'll see you guys in a day or two for the next one, for part 5. I guess that's about it. Until next time, stay safe, be blessed, and live lavishly, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Love you.